Hello guys, how's everybody doing today? My name is Aldrin and today we're gonna be talking about 10 things you need to know before you get into the restaurant service. First things first, I have to introduce myself. So my name is Aldrin and I am from the Philippines. I work in the restaurant industry right now for like 3 years full time. And I finished a bachelor's degree for this industry, hotel and restaurant management in Bukidnon State University in Malaybalay City, Bukidnon. Cheers to my alma mater. Yes, and I am making this video right now for those high school students or for those senior high students who are thinking about getting into hospitality industry, because this industry right now is really booming in the 20th century. You can do a lot of stuff. You can travel all over the world, you can make money, you can meet a lot of people, and it makes you a better person because you know you travel. And this is also for my co-hospitality workers, my friends, my classmates out there, wherever you are, in the US, in the Philippines, in Dubai, in Canada, in Australia. What's up to you guys? Maybe you can watch the video if you're in the home quarantine right now. If you have some time you can relate, yeah, hit that subscribe button if you want. So number one, guys, if you are not a people person, well, this job is not for you, because you know this industry is really interesting. It's interesting in a way that at the end of the day you don't know what's gonna happen. It can go pretty nice, or it can go pretty terrible. Like you're gonna end up in your nearest local pub in Poachers. But yes, anyways, so like you have to be open-minded, like you know yourself, and you are emotionally strong, that you know what you're getting into, so that in your very first day of training in the job you don't get shocked. You're gonna be like, what am I getting into? So yeah, we don't want that situation. And next is you have to be a team player in this kind of job. So that's part of being not a people person. So you have to be a team player, because I know that there's a lot of people think that when they work alone, they think that they can work better, they can do better, they can do more, they are more efficient. Well, it doesn't work like that in the restaurant, because no man is an island. Second thing to know before you work in a restaurant service: SUCKY schedule. Alright man, this is really interesting because the schedule in the restaurant industry sucks. Like literally sucks. Because it's not like working in the office again. Like you work Monday to Friday, and when you clock out at the end of the Friday, enjoy your weekend, guys. Well, it's not like that in the restaurant. There's no weekend. And there are times that you work long, strenuous schedules, shifts, because you know it's a seasonal job. Sometimes there are days that it's very busy, there are days that it's very slow. And when the time that is busy, you can get really exhausted at the end of the day. And you know, no holidays. That's another thing. That's a really big thing. No holidays. Because when you work in the restaurant, especially when you work in the tourist spots, so like in Telluride is a ski resort, a lot of people go for the holidays to ski. So that's one of the busiest time of the year in our place, from the Christmas to New Year. So which means no Christmas for you and no New Year's for you. No birthdays, no monthsaries maybe. For me, in my case, this year, in my birthday, I worked during my birthday because I have no choice. It was pretty busy. And yeah, another thing, sucky schedule. Sometimes when you're off, you get cold. Sucks, man. You're going out, you're hiking, or maybe you're hanging out with your friends, or maybe you're in the bar, you're drunk already, and suddenly your manager calls you, hey, are you available today? Can you work? Oh yeah. And I'm like, man, it sucks. And the opposite thing, you work, it's low, you get cut, go home, bye-bye. And you get home, you're like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Alright, third thing that you have to know before you work in the restaurant service: you have to be smart. Tang, 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 tang. So yeah, when I say you have to be smart, I'm not talking about you have to have a very high IQ, something, that kind of thing. Like you have to be very intelligent. It's pretty easy. Like you have to have a pretty quick decision making. Simple, quick decision making. You know which one to do first, which one to do next. which one to do last, so all of the system will go smoothly, like smooth, because once you do it wrong, first thing to do, and then you swap everything, and then you fucked up everything. And then the next thing is you have to be knowledgeable. You have to know how the system goes, you know, everything in the menu, because the menu is the soul in the restaurant. You know, you have to know how everything is made. You know where the ingredients are from, where you get it from, if it's local or not, organic or not, safe or not. And then another thing of being smart is that you have to know the events, what's going on in your local town, what's the history of your local town, because a lot of people really ask you about the history, because you know they're tourists, so they have to know something. And yes, another thing about being smart is that you have to know some kind of language, because like in my case, because I work here in the USA, this is the land of opportunity, and a lot of people come here from different parts of the world, from people from Europe, people from India, people from Africa, from the Caribbean. So it's a pretty nice diversity, a lot of mixed people. Because like sometimes when you meet guests, Spanish people, hola, kumusta? So like, you know, it's pretty nice if you know something, some basic language, because it makes them feel like you are interested about their culture. Yes. And the last thing that I want you to know about being smart is that you have to be confident, because everything follows. If you're knowledgeable, you're smart, and then you will become confident with yourself, because you have to be confident, because you are the one, you work in the restaurant, your guest depends on you, you are the one that drives the dining experience. It's up to you if it can either go really satisfying or terribly bad. So it's up to you. You have to be smart, study, and experience is the best recipe. Fourth thing that you have to know before you work in the restaurant service, you have to be physically fit. So like in a way that I'm not talking about that you have to be like a musculado, like a person that goes to the gym 3 times a day, spends 3 hours in the gym. No, I'm not talking about that. It's pretty simple, like in a way that because this industry involves a lot of physical activities, because especially when you're a waiter and you have a big table, like a big family, you have a 10 top, and then you know you have to lift a pretty heavy oval tray, like 6 plates, and then 1 plate in your hand, no, 5 plates, and then the tray jack in your left hand, in your other hand. So it's pretty heavy. And then after that, if you work as a back waiter as well, and then 10 top, I'm talking about the 10 top, right? 10 people, you're gonna pick up that 10 plates in 1 trip, because I mean you can make it 2 trips or three trips, but you know 1 trip, it makes you like, you know, give them a little bit of showmanship so you can make more money. So that 10 plates, and sometimes plates can go heavy, pretty heavy, and sometimes just 1 plate is heavy, and I can't imagine 10 more. But you know, you can make it, but like when you work in 5-hour shift, dinner, pretty busy shift, at the end of the day you can get pretty exhausted. So that's, yeah, physically fit. And another thing that involves about physically is that you have to be fast. When you're working in a restaurant, it's not like working in the office that you are sitting in your desk, in your chair, very nice chair, you can turn around at the entire shift. Well, it's a different story in the restaurant. You don't sit, there's no chair in the restaurant. The chairs are for the guests, not for the employees. It's crazy. So like you stand from the start of your shift until the end, because tip number 1, if you want to be a professional server, you don't sit down, because the guests hate it. They feel like you're a lazy person. They hate seeing you leaning like this in the table. You have to be standing straight, like you're ready all the time, like you're ready to go to the left, you're ready to go to the right, you're ready to go to the front or to the back whenever something needs your, or somebody needs your attention. So yeah, you have to get from one place to the other place pretty fast but safely. You don't have to run. Rule number 1 in a restaurant: no running. You don't have to run. Walk fast. Fifth thing that you have to know before you work in the restaurant service: it's very stressful. Stressful emotionally and mentally. This kind of job, man, it makes you alcoholic, you know, like at the end of the shift, you're very stressed out and very exhausted, and you're like, man, I need a drink, man, I need a beer, I need a shot, or maybe I need a glass of wine. It's true, man. You know, servers, they always end up in the bars. Another thing, stressful, makes you curse all the time. Fucking shit, man, what the fuck? If you're a Filipino, putang ina mo. If you're a Bisaya, pisteya wa kulira. Yeah, man, it's true. Sometimes, you know, makes you feel too emotional, makes you feel unworthy, because sometimes there are this type of people that they are very soft-hearted. They are very conscious about themselves. They think that they can fuck up anytime. I mean, we can all fuck up anytime. It's just that they're very conscious. They can fuck up anytime, and they can be fired at any time. Yeah. Sometimes there are times that you get very disappointed. You did all your best to your table and you don't get appreciated. That's another thing. You feel like you're not appreciated. You feel disrespected, because sometimes, you know, there are people in the restaurant, the guests, are trying to be cool. They do this weird stuff, crazy stuff, and then they end up disrespecting you. I'm like, what the fuck? Sixth thing that you need to know before you work in a restaurant service: you deal with weird and moody guests. Ay, man. You know, in this kind of industry, it's pretty normal because you meet a lot of people, different types of personalities and characters. You know, there are these types of people that walks into your restaurant and then they feel like they own you. Because, like, you know, sometimes they feel like they sit in a nice table, you are serving them. They feel like they are in the next level. And, you know, you serve them and you are the server. So, yeah, that makes them feel like they are somebody else. You know, sometimes they feel like they know better than you. It's crazy. Nah, whatever. And you know, sometimes people are very meticulous about the food, that they don't even know what they're talking about. Like, can I order a cheeseburger but without cheese? It's crazy. And you know, sometimes you deal with these drunk guests. You know, these are the type of situations that I really can't handle. Types of the situations that I need to call my manager or my supervisor. I can't handle this anymore. I don't want any, you know, any problems. And then, you know, it's hard to deal with guests too. Like, you know, guests in a date, especially people that are getting to know each other, going very romantic, you know, and the first stage of the relationship. Very sweet. Darling, please release me, let me go. No, please say yes. And, you know, it makes you feel awkward because, like, sometimes, like, you don't want to interrupt because they're going really serious. Like, are you ready to order? You have any questions so far? And, you know, sometimes too, like, you know, dealing guests that are VIPs, very, very important persons in the meeting, you know, especially like there are times that they're on the phone talking to somebody else, like I'm gonna put $5 million for the investment. No, not 10 million. I said $5. You're fucking fired. So those are the times that you don't want to interrupt. It's like, oh man, I need a perfect timing to get into the table. And you know, celebrities, you know, when you deal with celebrities, it's crazy sometimes because, like, you get starstruck, you get mentally blocked, and you don't know what to do. And I'm like, oh man, she's here. Oh, he's here. I've seen him in the TV last night. And, like, you know. Seventh thing that you need to know before you work in the restaurant service: you live with very high expectations. Yeah, man, it's true. You live with very high and crazy expectations from your supervisor, from your manager, sometimes from the owner, and you have to do this. You have to give them a very nice service, 5-star rating, like world class. Like, it's crazy because, like, what can I do if they are this kind of people, like hard to deal kind of people. Like, you know, they say that if you want to have a good service in a restaurant, you have to be a good guest too, like a good customer. Because, you know, eighth thing that you need to know before you work in the restaurant service: you have to be positive all the time, even if there's nothing to be hopeful for. You know what I'm saying? Because in this kind of industry, it's not nice for you if you look unhappy and optimistic. Alive, you have to be alive. It's not nice for us to look like lousy, like you look tired. Even if you look tired, that's what I'm saying, you have to be an actor. You are tired, you don't have to look tired. You always have to look energetic all the time. You're always ready for the war, baby. 9th thing that you have to know before you work in a restaurant service: you have to follow proper hygiene all the time. So I'm not saying that not everybody is following proper hygiene, but the thing is, when you work in the restaurant service, especially when you work, not just when you work in the front, but when you work in the back too. When I say work in the front, if you're working as a waiter or back waiter, and when you work at the back as a kitchen. Because like, you know, when I let's say for example, like the haircut, so like a haircut, you know, for men. So like in this kind of industry, if you're a waiter, you always have to look good. So it's not just about talking about fashion wise that you have to look good, it's also about being sanitary and clean, you know, sanitary speaking, so that there's no hair falling. And if your hair is very long, it makes you look untidy and not pleasant. And you know, if you work in the office, it's okay if you have a very long hair, or sometimes you got late because you got run out of time, you have no time to go to the barber. But in this kind of industry, you have to always have a good haircut, because it makes you feel pleasant and clean. For the ladies, man, ladies, let's go to ladies. Nails. I know a lot of ladies that likes having their nails long, and then coloring their nails, polishing their nails with blue, pink, black, and red. Look at those red nails, baby. Well, if you work in the office or any kind of jobs, you can do that. But if you work in the restaurant industry, no, you can't, because sanitary wise, because you know, there are particles that can get into your nails, and then you touch the food, and then those foreign particles will get into the food, and then yeah, you get fucked up, because maybe I don't know what kind of germs or maybe viruses are in your nails. So yes, 10th thing and the last thing that you need to know before you work in the restaurant: it makes you conscious in going out or dining out in a different restaurant. Like it makes you conscious with the food that you are served. Like it happened to me. I don't know if it's necessary for me to put this in the list, but for me, I think I just put it in the last because it happened to me. I don't know if you guys feel it too, but you know, since I started working in the restaurant, I get so very conscious and meticulous about the food that I'm eating, like in the restaurant, because this weird stuff that's going on in my mind, like how did they cook this? Was this clean? And then that's the time I start to know if the food that I'm served is fresh or not. And then I'm thinking about maybe my server put something in the food, you know, those kind of weird stuff, and how did he carry my food to my table? Maybe he touched it, or maybe somebody touched it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that I gave you enough information so it will help you decide what you really want to do in your future if you want to get into the restaurant service. And I'm gonna make a separate video to what are the good things, the pros of this industry, and what are the opportunities and where this industry can get you in your life and in your career. So you guys keep posted. Hit the subscribe button for the latest and the newest videos. Thank you. You guys enjoy. Stay home, stay safe, and I love you guys.